Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for the finale of season 6 here at Abu Dhabi, and let's see how this race goes. My expectations are pretty low going into this race because we've always struggled around here compared to the AI. This is one of their strong tracks, and we're going to try our best to see if we can compete with them here today. Now, if you guys did miss the last race for the Brazilian Grand Prix, do check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. But as you can see, no rain expected finally for this race, and a dry end to the season. Also, we have a double upgrade on the car in the aerodynamic side of things, both of them for the front end of the car mainly, and hopefully that should help us out a little bit in terms of improving the car generally going into this final race of the season. Now, for this episode, guys, a small disclaimer: I'm going to be running cockpit view for this race, a bit of a change, and something I promised I would do, and I always kind of do at least once a season, and in this case it's obviously fallen on the last race here at Abu Dhabi, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an extra challenge on top of the one that already have presented to me, and yeah, hopefully it goes well. And as you can see, for the final time this season, the R&D development, the Saubers have brought big upgrades, and it looks like a lot of teams have brought some upgrades, not just Aston Sauber, and we've actually improved, but pretty much not a major amount, and we've kind of stayed parallel to where we were relative to Renault, Haas and Ferrari, and also Sauber. So yeah, nonetheless, the car's going to be an improved package, and that's what I'm mostly looking forward to. And speaking of looking forward to the qualifying session, let's see how this goes. And I've got, like I said, a low expectation, so I've got nothing to lose in this session, and I want to see if I can just absolutely go for it. And the real struggle's tomorrow in the race, because the tire temperatures are a real factor around here, and you can really cook your rears. It's a very, very massively rear limited circuit, this one. Dare I say, the most rear limited circuit on the entire calendar. So yeah, it's kind of a tricky one. It's a big challenge, and the rear tyres don't really perform that well once they get past 25% wear. However, for qualifying, it's a different story, because it's all about one lap, and on one lap we might have a chance, not to get pole, but maybe third, fourth, something like that. Maybe beat Alonso. I think that's a realistic target, to beat my own teammate, and let's see how that goes. Straight away though, we're going to go for 3 runs in qualifying. This was my first lap in the session, and to be fair, we hit the wall there. A little bit of a scruffy ending to the lap. However, the rest of the lap in itself wasn't too bad, and it was a pretty good banker lap, as Alonso currently sits fastest in the other McLaren. We go P7 there, over a second off the pace of my own teammate, which was quite surprising, and we lost most of our time through that final sector. But then we went again for another run. This was my second of the 3, and this run was better. A pretty big improvement, actually. We found a lot of time, and especially in sector 1 we absolutely nailed it, and then through sector 2 again we found more time through the chicane, and we were already half a second up at this point. And then we kind of had a bit of a scruffy little chicane section there. You can see I lose the back end a little bit, lose a little bit of time to the delta, but then we had a very strong end to the lap through the final sector, and we brought it all together and eventually improved by nearly 0.8 of a second. And the improvement's actually quite big. We go P3 there with a purple final sector, and we actually go third behind Leclerc and Alonso, and Ericsson currently sitting in P4. But like I said, my best run was the final run, so we're going to run up all now for a full lap of the Abu Dhabi GP circuit here. Let's see how this lap goes. Straight away, turn 1, you want to brake as low as you can, really chuck the car onto the curbs around here. That's where you gain your time. You need to have a setup that allows you to really use the curbs around this circuit, because otherwise you're going to be pretty slow. Sector 1 pretty much perfect as we now go down the hill towards sector 2, and so far so good, no lockups, keeping it nice and clean through the chicane on the power briefly as we go into the hairpin. And I lose the back end a little bit on the entry there, and I kind of lose a bit of speed and momentum and rotation, and actually drop a 10th of a second there due to not getting the apex absolutely spot on. So we're up against it here as we go onto the back straight, DRS wide open, and we now look for the 100 meter board as a reference. We brake just after it for the chicane here, and I probably broke a little bit too early there, but still we get it nicely straightened up for the exit, using the curb on the left hand side to really maximise the exit. DRS open once again here on the second back straight, and now you're looking for, it's basically on field, there's not really a big reference point here, and I just basically get on the curb to really open up the corner as much as possible as we throw over the chicane. This time we keep it nice and smooth, and we find that entire 10th and a half on those 3 corners, and we're actually getting some even more time actually, and we're currently a 10th up as we go into the final sector. Can we keep this 10th in our pocket and try and improve? Let's find out straight away as we go into the twisty 90-degree corner section here of the final sector under the hotel. Things are looking pretty good, keeping the car nicely pointed, no tank snappers, no rear end mess ups, keeping the traction smooth, the car's working well, and the front end is pointing into the corners as we now go through the final corner, power down, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but it's a good lap and it is an improvement, and we actually go P2, second place in the qualifying, and it's not just P2 behind Leclerc, it's P2 behind Fernando Alonso, a 1-2 in qualifying for the McLaren team. And I was more shocked Or should I say, I was already shocked at the fact I got a front row, let alone the fact it's Alonso that bagged pole, and we got a 1-2. I do believe in the back of my head Leclerc didn't get a clean lap in because he still had the fastest first and second sectors, and his third sector wasn't great. And I think he probably left some pace on the table, but still, we'll take it. And it's a first 1-2 in qualifying of the season for myself and Fernando. And just goes to show the improvement all season long in this McLaren car. And we end the qualifying session with a high. Alonso getting his first pole position of the season. And we get a front row start around probably one of my worst tracks on the calendar. So all in all, a decent result, a very decent qualifying. And now we're going to move into the race for the final time in Season 6. And let's see how the race goes. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and the end of Season 6.
Looks like you had a great qualifying session. It must be a relief being that far up the grid. You didn't spend much time practicing. Are you saving your car for the main event? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip or did you just misjudge some corners? Appreciate your time.
Welcome to Yas Marina Circuit for the swan song of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a circuit that has been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its short history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 21 corners here at Yas Marina Circuit with 10 to the right and 11 to the left for a total lap distance of 3.4 miles. Two long straights open up some passing opportunities into the chicanes, and we can expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles per hour. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Charles Leclerc. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory, and the pressure now surely off, with the title already in the bag.
I agree, it's been a truly impressive season. But championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk. So we may even see a more aggressive approach.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. What a qualifying from Fernando Alonso. He starts from pole position, and Martinez completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Ericsson, Nico Hülkenberg, and Vettel, Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Sainz, and Kevin Magnussen, Verstappen, Perez, Esteban Ocon, and Hamilton, Gasly, Bottas, Brendan Hartley, and Lance Stroll. Sirotkin and Roman Grosjean starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right, here we go then for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Second place on the grid alongside Fernando Alonso, not Charles Leclerc for a change. And to be honest with you, it's a shock front row lockout. And it's even more of a shock the fact I'm on the front row, considering I know how strong the AI are around this circuit. Now, the race is not won yet. We've got a long way to go. It's going to be very hard to keep the Saubers behind, especially Charles Leclerc himself. And we're kind of hoping that we can have a good race here today. Tyre temperatures, tyre wear is going to be a critical factor. This first thing is going to be really tough, especially once you start getting into the wear and tear part of these tyres around lap 4, 5, 6 and 7, that kind of range. And it's going to make the strategy quite interesting because obviously those who qualify on the hypers most likely have to go for the two-stop strategy, and that's going to involve two ultra soft tyres. So let's see how this one plays out, and hopefully we can have a little bit of fun. 1.5 laps extra fuel in the car, no rain expected. It's the last race of Season 6. Let's enjoy it and let's try and go out on a high, although I think we're going to struggle to finish where we start. With that being said, let's jump into it. It's time for round 21 and the finale for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Getting the revs into the optimal range. Get ready for the 5 red lights. And they are off, and away we go for the final time this season. And it's a good start. We get alongside Fernando into turn 1 though. We can't go down the inside. Ericsson tries to go on the outside there. We're going to squeeze him off and hold on to our position there, but we've got a good launch, matching Fernando there in the launch phase. Ericsson's P3, so it's not actually the closest challenger to us, and Ericsson has got past his own teammate, so that's good news. Straight away though, let's see what the pace is like, and hopefully we can compete here today. You know, the better, or should I say, the longer the first stint stays as it is right now with these positions, the better our race will be. I'm kind of hoping a bit like Brazil. I kind of surprised myself, and we had a really good race pace in that one, and we got past Alonso, so I'm kind of hoping for that once again, to be honest. But let's see how it goes. There's a lot of laps to go. There's a lot of possibilities for things to happen, not just to me but to the tyres as well. So let's take it patiently and let's try and take it lap by lap. Good news is though, they're closing P4, so it's going to take him a little while to make some progress. Dare I say, he's going to struggle to get past his own teammate. Alonso sets the pace. Good news is we've not got DRS on, or sorry, should I say Ericsson hasn't got DRS on me, which is good. So that's great off the bat. Nice to pick up our first track extension of the race there, running wide. I'm trying to keep my rear tyres alive, therefore I'm not trying to push too much. The longer I keep these rear tyres in check, the better. Ericsson will have DRS on me though, which is a little bit annoying as we go into the detection point. So it should be okay. I think he's too far back to really put me under any major pressure, so that's fine. And so far things are looking pretty good. So hopefully it stays this way, because if anything, I want Alonso to try and win this race and hopefully secure a win for the team. Gap was 1.1 there through the first sector. I think I've done enough this time to keep Ericsson out of DRS. So now he's going to have Leclerc to contend with. And yeah, I can see the mini-map. He hasn't got DRS because Leclerc's closing him down quite rapidly on the straight. So it's good news. Gives me a chance to hopefully pull away as Leclerc goes to the move on his teammate. So let's try and open up a gap here as Ericsson and Leclerc do battle there. At the minute, temperatures look good. 100 on pretty much both rears. And we're scheduled to pit in next lap. So let's try and keep the tyres in that temperature window. And we should be okay to follow a strategy. So that's good news. Alonso's got good pace still. And Leclerc is still not within the DRS. So that's positive as well. Okay, Leclerc pits in. So he's the first one to bite the bullet out of the big boys. We're scheduled to come in this lap, so that's a potential undercut from Charles Leclerc there, as we're scheduled to pit in this lap. Trying to push on my in-lap here as we go underneath the hotel. I've closed the gap to Alonso slightly, but we are now going to come in for our first of 2 stops in this race. Rear tyres have just started to overheat, so the timing's perfect. I've had to push in the in-lap. Here we go into the pit lane, get it all slowed down to the 80, there we go. Pretty straightforward as Ericsson and Alonso stay out, so different strategies potentially, we'll find out, but I'm going to do what I was recommended by the team. And Leclerc's been held up in the 3rd sector by Toro Rosso, so I'm kind of hoping that plays a factor in. Here we go, nice quick stop, come on boys, there we go, 2.3. Leclerc's probably crossing the line about now, so it's going to be close. But that Toro Rosso is going to stop him from potentially undercutting me. Here we go, it's going to be close. Leclerc making a move into turn 1, up to speed. Out of the pit lane then, we're going to have the advantage in the first phase. There we go, oh my god, woohoo! Ooh, I was too close for comfort. Oh my days. Leclerc has undercut me, but we are going to have DRS on the straight, so we should have a chance here to get back at him straight away. He does get some insane acceleration, in fairness. He's on the hypersofts as well, so an aggressive strategy from him. Look at that Sauber go on the straight. Oh my days. He's actually full on just mugged me off, and I wasn't able to get anywhere near him, so he's in the hypers now. He's going to be pretty quick on those tyres. I was hoping to keep him behind me at least for a little while, but just a little bit too quick on those, unfortunately. So Leclerc makes the move. That's fine, though. Different strategy, so I'll be curious to see how this one plays out. I'm going to try and stick with him as much as I can. Those hypers won't last too long, so the closer we stay with him during these laps, the better. So let's try and get a head down and try and follow that Sauber as best as we can.
Fernando's in for his stop.
So we've got Alonso in, along with Ericsson as well. Pretty much everyone who was remaining on the hypers has pit in, so let's see how this one pans out. I'm trying to stay with Leclerc here if I can. He sets the pace. I think my battle with him might have just done enough to keep Alonso in front and avoid the undercut. It's going to be very close again though between the two of them. There you go, but Alonso just rejoins in front, which is crucial. So that little battle I had with Leclerc, and just put him off a little bit down the pit exit, just enough to stop him from taking Alonso in his stride, as Alonso now is behind the Mercedes, so it's going to be slipstream central here pretty much between all 3 of those guys. My former team against my current team against the World Championship team pretty much, as Alonso makes the move, and Leclerc is not too far behind either. I want to try and follow up here and try and stay close and pick up some DRS as Leclerc goes side by side with Lewis Hamilton here. Okay, now I need to get past Lewis here, who's on the ultras, so let's try not to lose too much time and try and get past him fairly swiftly here. Not the best traction. I'm probably going to get him into the final corner, to be honest. That's my kind of spot. Although Lewis does go defensive. We're going to switch back underneath. There we go. Good move. And we take the position. Lovely stuff. Back up into P4. We've got a Red Bull in the lead. So Alonso is quickly approaching that Red Bull on the start tyres. We're going to try and Close up once again to Leclerc if possible here while we have the chance. Okay, Leclerc's going to get held up here by that Red Bull through the entire final sector, which is good because it's going to give Alonso the chance to pull away and extend that gap, and also hopefully me close up a little bit once again and not allow him to really build any momentum on that hypersoft, which is what I wanted. So for once, you know, unlike past races where Sauber have got the strategy perfect, Leclerc's had a lot of traffic and roadblocks in this stint, and you can see he's not had it all his way as Alonso sets the pace. I wonder if Fernando's on the hypers maybe. We'll find out as we set a personal best. Meanwhile, Leclerc goes for a move there on the Red Bull of Max Verstappen into turn 1. Hopefully that gives me the chance to catch up. I've got DRS on Verstappen now in the second straight. The problem is he's got DRS off Leclerc, so we're not going anywhere anytime soon. And now it's my turn to sit behind Verstappen in sector 3. Unless we can pass him somewhere else. We get a little bit out of shape there, got to be careful. Don't want to cook my rear tyres, that's important to stay calm, stay composed. Okay, probably the same move on Verstappen as I pulled off on Lewis. Through there. Down the inside, it's a late one. A bit wide, but we have made it work, a little bit scruffy. Not my finest overtake you'll ever see, but the move's done. We can now, once again, resume into clean air. P3 now, back into our net position. And Leclerc's not that far ahead, which is good, so we haven't lost that much time to say the tyres we're on and the tyres Leclerc's on, which is good. So everything's worked out okay. Okay, Leclerc pits in, so there we go. His hypersoft stint hasn't really worked out. We won't know what tyre he goes on. I guess we'll have to judge it on lap times, but he either goes for a super soft in my opinion, or he goes for another hyper and goes really aggressive, because the ultra isn't going to get him to the end. So interesting predicament now Leclerc's in. My gut tells me he's going to go for another hyper soft and then go an ultra at the end, but it could just as likely be a super soft, and if it is a super soft he's going to be in traffic, and also that tyre is not super fast, so me and Alonso have still got good chances. You can see Leclerc is rejoined behind 2 or 3 cars there, so he's not going to have the benefit of the fresh tyres straight away. And me and Alonso are looking pretty good here so far, so I'm very happy with this, and the 1-2 is looking pretty likely still. At least the Alonso win for sure, that's looking pretty good. Alonso's still going long on that hypersoft, which is good, so a bit of a different strategy there from Nando, kind of like in the first stint where it went quite long. I'm guessing he's going to try and stretch it to an ultra soft in the final stint, which is going to pretty much solidify his victory chances if he pulls that off. Meanwhile, Ericsson is closing me down a little bit, but not by a major amount. Things are looking pretty good here so far and under control, which is what I want.
Okay, some information on Perez. They are out of the race.
Okay, so Sergio Perez out of the race now. He is done. First retirement of the Grand Prix. No VSC or safety car comes from it, as it seems, so things continue on as normal, which is fine by me. Alonso is still staying out on that hypersoft. He's going so long on that tyre. He's definitely going for that ultra now on that final stint, that's for sure. The only question is, what's Leclerc done strategy-wise? Has he gone for the super soft? Be interested to see how that one pays off. He's got past his traffic now, Leclerc, and he's in clean and he's pushing on. No purple laps yet though from the Sauber man, so I'm not really sure what to expect, to be honest.
Fernando's in the pits.
Alonso finally comes in for the ultra soft. We're going to start for one more lap, as we're scheduled to come in now, lap 17. And Ericsson's going to be with us the entire time, which is fine. But we actually are going to lead at least one lap of this race, so yeah, let's make sure it's a strong in lap. Okay, on the mini-map you can see Alonso's rejoined in front of Leclerc there quite comfortably, so good news. And it's looking like Alonso versus Leclerc, and then myself versus Ericsson here for the battles, kind of, for the rest of the Grand Prix. My rears have overheated, I've lost my rears, but that's fine because we're coming in now, so that's okay. Little track extend, that's my second one in the Grand Prix. Just got to be careful with those. No more on the second stint, or on the final stint, should I say. Slow it down, and there we go for the 80. Beautiful stuff. And now it comes down to a good old-fashioned pit stop battle versus the Sauber team. We've got the first box, which is good because it means we should have priority here. Come on, boys, nice quick stop, please. There we go, 2.1, fantastic stop. And we're actually gaining a little bit of time there on Ericsson, which is good. As we get up to speed now for the pit exit, let's make sure we maximise and rejoin the track as soon as possible. There we go, clean air. Comfortable P3, which is good. And Ericsson behind us on another set of ultra softs, and it looks like Leclerc is also on the ultra, so Leclerc's going very long to say he did that pit stop quite a long while ago, so dare I say he may come in again for the hypers potentially, because that's a long way to go on one set of tyres from now to the end of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, we've got entertainment here in the form of Marcus Ericsson. Can we keep the Sauber behind for the rest of the Grand Prix? Let's find out. We've got a slow moving car here. It's one of the Haas cars. It's can't tell, I think that might have been Grosjean, I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to have to go defensive into the chicane. We're going to have to leave some room on the inside for Ericsson. Switch back underneath, power down. A little bit more contact there on the exit. I should pick up DRS though. Let's try and overtake him. Let's not do a Leclerc and let him take the position straight away. I'm going to go to the inside. Late on the brakes. A little bit hot, but we are going to get it slowed down just about. Ericsson on the switchback, but no way through. We replace our car nicely. Under defensive. And there we go. Job done. I'm just staying in front. Hopefully now tyres should get up to temperature. We should be able to set a couple of decent laps and maybe open up the gap a little bit. Yeah, Leclerc pits in. So he's on the aggressive strategy. He's having no more time or no more fun on those ultra softs. He's coming in from presuming another set of hyper softs. So we're going to take second place. We've got the Haas here still moving slow and staying out on the track for some reason. And we're going to take that position back. And we're back in the second place. Ericsson got held up a little bit there. So it's looking like a 1-2 here at the minute for us. With about 8 laps to go. This is looking fantastic. Oh, Verstappen's out. In the Red Bull. Second retirement of the Grand Prix. After Perez. Meanwhile, we're looking good here for another personal best. I'm starting to really open up a gap now to Marcus Ericsson. Car and tyres are working fantastically in cohesion with one another. And we're looking very good here to bring home the second place so far. Let's see if we do get a personal best over the line. I think we should. There we go, 33.8. Good stuff. Gap to Ericsson, 2 seconds. Ericsson's picked up the pace. I'm having to respond accordingly by once again resetting personal bests. But even then, Ericsson is still faster than me. Good thing is, I'm super strong for the final sector, which is something I'm not used to. I've always been the slowest for the final sector in all the 5 past seasons of career mode. But the setup I've got now and the confidence I have, I can really push these curbs and I can gain so much time. And therefore, I've got the confidence to pull away, but Ericsson's definitely not done with me just yet. He's put the pressure on. And we know how fast the Saubers are come the end of the race, so this is not over by a long shot just yet. Personal best though, good pace, we're keeping it up. Having to get past that Haas again there. Good thing is it gave me DRS, but I think Ericsson also picked up the DRS from the Haas. But good thing is I think the gap's actually increased a little bit, so that's fine by me. There we go, a little bit DRS, not bad. Don't mind if I do. I think Alonso might have a problem here. He's going slow. I wonder if he got damage from the Haas. Oh no, I think Alonso's in trouble. He's slowing down quite a lot. Yeah, I think... Oh no, Alonso's in trouble. Yeah, he's got damage. Wow, what a shame. He's lost his front wing entirely. We have to go on the outside, an illegal move though. We're going to have to give it back. Come on, Nando. I need you to go back, son. Go back past me, mate. Alonso won't go past. I need him to go past. Come on. There we go. We got the illegal gone, but... Wow, that was sticky.
Fernando's in for his stop.
Alonso lost his wing as Ericsson tries to go down the inside into turn 1. All of a sudden, we're under pressure here. What the hell has just happened? Wow. It's all kicked off. McLaren fresh ultras as well. He's gained a lot of time there, but that illegal move was not the one. That was not the one at all. If we'd done that better, we could have opened up a massive gap to Ericsson there because he got held up by Alonso quite badly. But now we're leading the race, but not the way I wanted to. It's a real shame for Alonso. It really, really is. He's done nothing wrong all race. He's going to be P4 though, so it's not all lost, and he's going to be in hyper softs. Here comes Ericsson though in the meantime. Around the outside again. We'll have to go late on the brakes to try and match him. Hold the inside line. There we go, well defended, and that's going to push him back quite nicely. Hopefully we can shake him off in the third sector and try and get the pressure off a little bit. That Haas though is causing trouble. Obviously Alonso's lost his wing on that Haas, which is still circulating for some reason or another, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but that Haas is causing trouble. More contact here, more debris on the track. Hartley's been hit by the Haas. We're going to go on the outside of the pair of them. Ericsson's going to get held up a tree, and that's going to give us the gap. Ericsson eventually does get through, but it's going to buy us some time again. Leclerc's really chasing down though. He's in the fresh ultras. He's going to be a threat. Obviously that Haas must have some kind of car problem because he can't come in. It's not a puncture or anything. It's just a car issue. So not really sure what to say about that. But either way, we've got a little bit of gap to Ericsson now. But Leclerc is closing us down. We've got multiple cars here for traffic as well up the road. So this isn't over just yet. Got some traffic here in the form of Bottas and Ocon. Hopefully they will move out of the way because I'm losing a hell of a lot of time here at the minute. Come on, Valtteri. Looks like Ericsson has got trouble with his car now because he's dropped back. He can't keep up and Leclerc is on the back of him here, so Looks like Ericsson's going to be losing that second place as well, unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, we're still behind Ocon here. Hopefully he moves out of the way. Come on, Esteban, please. There we go. I'm just going to go on the outside, but Leclerc's about to take that second place. With 3 laps to go. We're doing a good job here. We're looking good for the win, but it's not over just yet. I think we've got it, boys. The Saubers are trying to get through the traffic, and they're losing a lot of time because they're not just getting through traffic, they're battling each other at the same time. So that's helping me out. 2 laps to go. We've got a nice, comfortable gap to Ericsson now. 4 seconds, look at that. This is looking good. Oh no, that's not good. God's sake, Stroll. AI just don't know how to get out of the way in this game. Leclerc's now P2, he's going to try and hunt me down with 1 lap to go. But we're looking good here. Got a comfortable gap. 3.3, I'm going to use up now the rest of my fuel and ERS on this lap to make sure we really solidify this win. This is very, very dodgy, man. Oh my god, I'm holding my breath so much. Here we go then, into the final sector now. Past the hotel, Leclerc's now well into second place, but it doesn't matter because somehow we're going to come through to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I did not expect this. I didn't even expect a podium in this race because the AI are very quick around here, but we've done it. We stayed strong, we had strong pace, good strategy, good setup, and we're going to win the final race of the season, and we end Season 6 on a high. Woohoo, what a race that was. A shame for Alonso, it really was though. I really hope he wins.
What a fantastic Grand Prix that was, and an excellent win for McLaren. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I'd say it's just raw pace, plain and simple. I mean, we could sit here and talk about strategy all day, the overtaking, looking after the tyres, but at the end of it all, if you want to win, you need a package that's got the speed over everyone else, and that's exactly what they had today.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. Things are looking up after last week, aren't they? You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you? Appreciate your time.
Right, so there we have it then. We win the final race in Abu Dhabi. Leclerc P2, Ericsson P3, Nico Hulkenberg gets 4th, and Alonso P5 in the end with that front wing change in the final stop. Don't get it twisted, this was Alonso's race to win, and I feel gutted. I really wanted him to win this race because he deserved it. You know, he's had such a tough season, and this was his chance. And to make it worse, Hulkenberg, his main rival, actually beat him to 4th somehow. So yeah, that's going to mean Alonso doesn't overtake him in the championship, which is quite annoying, as you'll see now in a moment. Alonso ends up 7 points behind Hulkenberg. Had it been the other way round, Alonso probably would have finished ahead, you know, and well, if Alonso had won the race, which he should have done, then it would have been even more. So yeah, disappointing, especially because it could have been a 1-2 for the team as well. I think our first 1-2 of the season, which hasn't happened at all, and that was so close. So disappointing to say the least, as Ricciardo overtakes Vettel in the last race for P5, and we solidify P2, 101 points behind Leclerc. And in terms of the constructors, again, you can see that we've solidified the second place. We beat Ferrari convincingly in the end, and we thoroughly deserve it. But that is it, guys, for this season of career mode. And yeah, all in all, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you guys have too. If you did, then drop a like, subscribe if you are new, turn on notifications so don't miss a single video from me. And after the cutscene, please do check out the 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But yeah, speaking of the cutscene, let's jump into it and let's see what happens going into Season 7.
Nice job this season. You've been performing well, and that's putting us in a strong negotiating position contract-wise. Plus, my 10%'s getting more valuable. So enjoy your break, and keep up the good work next year. From here, we can change the team that we're negotiating with. There's no rule saying you need to stay in the same seat forever. Selecting a team here only affects the negotiation. The actual move won't take place until the following race weekend.